process is going to have you reestablish your identity, and you will come out very level-headed. So this is a beautiful time to plan what your next experience is going to be. And for one lucky winner, they get to enjoy being a part of the cohort. I'll see you soon. Bye. Welcome, welcome, welcome back, family. Welcome to the Reiki Healing Hope Community, a place to heal, relax, be yourself, and be surrounded by those who want to see you blossom and or bloom. I am Jessica. Welcome. I'm a Reiki master teacher and intuitive, and today we have a special healing session. It is part 2 of the 3-day Mercury Retrograde Healing sessions. So welcome, 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 babies. This is your nightly self-care routine, a place where you just take care of yourself so you can enjoy the healing, fall asleep, or just set this time aside to take care of yourself. Okay, and so welcome, welcome, welcome to all my new babies, and welcome, welcome back to all my returning babies. Mama loves you. So just breathe in here, exhale, and we're gonna go ahead and get started. So we start our session off with a prayer. It is not a religious prayer. It is a prayer to root us in our individual healing experience and to bring us together as a community and a collective. Oh, it's so crazy. I feel like I've said this like almost 700 times. And by now, I think like you would get it. Maybe the new people, no, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, because consent matters, that's big for me. To have your permission, you, to say a prayer. Okay, you ready? Take a deep breath. Inhale and exhale. Dear universe, in awe for the highest vibrational good only, please connect us to our highest self and validate information from our highest intention only. Please release what we need to let go and embrace what allows us to grow. Let our journey encompass the lineages, traditions, religions, and spiritual paths that bring light out through us to share with others. I say all of this in the name of I am Ashe. Ashe, Ashe. Oh, this is my favorite prayer. Out of all of the years in the prayers only really changed like once or twice, just twice-ish. But out of all of the years, this cinnamon, I'm gonna do some cleansing. It's my favorite prayer. It is the most inclusive prayer that I could come up with. And I remember that the old prayer, if you remember it, like the beginning one, I got it from my teacher, and I made some changes to it that fit me and where I was at that time, and the energy I was connecting to at the time. And then I realized on that path that there was just so much more energy, and I couldn't fit it in one prayer. And I remember people would say, hey, can you add this person? Can you add that energy? Can you add that? And I used to say, I don't know if y'all remember, I used to say, hey, during this time, go ahead and insert what you need to insert. And of course, to this day, I get people still reaching out to me like, hey, can you add this person in the prayer? Because they're watching like something that's kind of like an older version of the prayer. Like, no, babies, right now we are as inclusive as we can be. And I think the evolution of it is, at the end of the day, feels like time has jumped, through a portal to come right now. And even though you may feel different in a different place in life, it may still be popping up, because that's what Mercury does. It takes us through these themes and just kind of shows back up. And so just because you may be experiencing some similar things that you experienced last year does not mean at all that you are not making great progress in your life currently. It might just be that it's coming up again, and you just have to accept the fact that you have feelings, you have reactions, that you are human. So breathe through this. I'm going to give a little bit more cleansing here. I miss you all. I don't know why I said that, but I don't know, I just do. And I see you all the time, but I don't know. I mean, yeah, how about that? I miss you. No, it doesn't have to be like some other explanation associated. And I hope you're doing well. So breathing through this. Now, for all my babies who participated in day 1 healing, and you were supposed to record your dreams. That was your homework, the dream work. What came up for you? Feel free to share it. What came up for you? During those sessions, what did you experience when you woke up? Because baby, let me tell you, I took a little nap, and I don't know about y'all, but when I take a nap, if I take a nap, the nap can turn into all night. It'd just be an all night situation, like I'm going to sleep all night. I took a 2-hour nap. I woke up, I was like, nah, I'm gonna just go to sleep for the night. No need to stay up. I'm going to sleep. I took a nap at like 7. And I woke up, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go back to sleep. I'm one of those people where if I wake up, I can go back to sleep. I don't care how long I've been sleeping. I wake up, look around, I'm going back to sleep. But some very profound things definitely came up in my dream work. So I wonder, you can share it in the comment section, what came up in your dream work. And I was talking about before how Mercury in retrograde in Gemini is the perfect time to communicate on mediumship, clairvoyance, or just going underneath the veil to answer some of these life questions. Particularly and specifically in dreams, it might come across more abundantly. I'm going to go and do some Reiki symbols here. Okay, breathe in and out. So it may come across abundantly in dreams. And what I find very tickling about life is no matter where you're at, no matter how far you go in a direction, you're always going to be learning. That's just the thing about being alive. And I remember when I was younger, I used to think that at a certain point in life, you figure everything out, and then you're just coasting from there. And then, after experiencing life, I started to realize that you never really figure it out, but you learn how to handle it better. Does that make sense? The things that you freak out about when you're younger, the things that you freak out about when you're new to something, you freak out less. They may still show up in new ways because a lot of our experiences are very cyclical. But you deal with them better. something is being a distraction. You might think it's really about fill in the blank, but when you sit back and think about it, you realize it's this other thing. So try not to distract yourself so that you instantly feel better, and then you still feel like, oh, why isn't this working long term? Surrender. Surrender to the universe. Surrender to your understanding of the divine. I tell you all the time, that's your business. You gotta figure that out on your own. Surrender. Trust that you are being guided in a path that is for your highest vibrational good. Trust that you have a purpose in this life, and that through these things you're learning, you're living it out each and every day. Trust in that. So breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Now, this is day 2. So, let's go ahead and be very, very precise when we do our homework tonight in our dreams. So I had this experience where I knew I was dreaming and I could wake myself up. And it's really kind of in that very like lucid dreaming, yoga nidra, just kind of state, you know? And I knew how interesting, dynamic, I think is a good way to put it, how dynamic that can be, because when I know I'm dreaming, I then can take this experience, this kind of physical experience that I experience every day in my life, and I can take it into the dream world, and I can go about, things. But I also notice that when you go underneath the veil, you connect to, as we talked about before, the kind of mediumship, clairvoyance, and things like that. So, if in your everyday life you have people who always ask you for something, please believe underneath the veil there's going to be energy asking you for something, to do something. And what I learned over time is that you do not have to answer everything. You do not have to feel like just because, especially those who are very interested in being able to connect stronger in with their clairvoyance or mediumship or something like that, you do not have to answer everything that is a connection for you. You honor your guides, you honor your ancestors, or whatever it is that you do in your process, but you don't gotta answer to everything. And so I knew when I was dreaming, I was like, oh, there's gonna be some shit. I was like, I'm about to wake up real quick. I don't feel like dealing with this. Now that's just my path, but I say that to say real lived experience, that when you go into your dreams tonight, choose what you want to experience, what you want to talk about, what is going to be a common theme for you, and live it out. Sometimes we have blockages in our lives that show up and we're like, how do we get around this? When really we have created this on an energetic level because we're actually trying to work through something. It might be a mentality that we have. It might be something that has happened and we're trying to work through it. It might be, a fear of moving forward or something. So in this dream state, start to ask those same questions that you've been asking, but open yourself up in a kind of way of, I'm going to take the blinders, the physical carbon-based blinders off and understand what's really going on. I had a dream as well in which I tapped into a relative's energy, and when I tapped into their energy, the dream was kind of like a just regular conversation, but it was like a very clear understanding of why they are where they're is like a big mystery, and that brings a lot of excitement to me. So how I manifested that into my life with health, with my interactions with other people, just all of these different things, and it just showed up in multiple ways, in very different ways. So I say all that to say, take this moment tonight to go into your dream world and look at yourself. Look at the things that are coming up for you, the things that are being illuminated. This Mercury in retrograde in Gemini is powerful, powerful, powerful in communication, especially underneath the veil. Energetic helpers, guides, angels, ancestors, whatever it is that you in particular connect to. That's your business. Everybody has something different, or if they don't connect to anything, that's their business as well. But everybody has something different that they feel connected to, the universe, their higher self, whatever that is. Go in there and have that conversation with yourself, because it's going to illuminate a lot. And I feel so strongly about this ability to communicate underneath the veil, because when I look at natal charts, I notice that people have strong clairvoyance, mediumship, clairvoyant tendencies, and a bit being a seer, things like that. They typically have a Mercury in retrograde in their natal chart. And to have Mercury in retrograde in its, in the sign that it rules, Gemini, is a very comfortable position for Mercury and can be very straightforward. Communicating with those that have passed on, communicating with the ancestors, energetic helpers, communicating with the archangels, guides, things like that. That's what that's all about. So it's less of a focus on the outside. We know that when it comes to Mercury in retrograde, and it's more of a focus on the inside. And if this is not something that you're used to, you can also communicate in a way of just your higher self. It is a time to go in and have a conversation with your highest self, because we give names to all of this energy. Oh, we call this, ancestors or